Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back on GT Sport and we're back with the new daily races that you will be racing for the next 7 days on GT Sport. So to start the video today, we're going to be driving at Suzuka East track in the Gran Trophy. This is daily race A, and get prepared for quite a lot of chaos in this race. This race kind of is a bit messy. I tried it twice. You're going to see we do 2 attempts at this race because I was convinced we might be able to get some form of good battling in this, because sometimes these races can actually get entertaining. So starting the race, starting in second gear, I think actually helps with the Megane. So yeah, we don't start in first gear, start in second gear, so get slightly better traction off the line. So into turn 1 we're going to brake a little bit earlier because there's probably going to be a bit of chaos. And we got the inside here, we've got a nice inside line and a lot of cars running wide through turn 1, so we're going to try and stay to the right hand side, and we managed to gain a couple of positions there. However, we have to back out there as the white Megane gets some weird lag spike, and then he takes out the driver on the left. So we're going to go up the inside there and gain 2 positions from them two just fighting there. As we come through here, we can see a lot of chaos going on in front of us, and this is where you're going to be very cautious. This week there's going to be a lot of people running people wide, taking people out, hitting you in the rear. It's going to happen in this combination, so I'm probably going to stay away from this because I can see this combination getting quite frustrating. So yeah, another thing, this week we get taken out, I think, by the same driver twice in 2 different races, and it is this driver in front of me. As we go through a move on the right hand side here now, we've got the run on him, we've got better acceleration out the final corner. We managed to get a bit of slipstream from P6 there. You see with daily race 8, slipstream is at 1.5 seconds, so you do get a little bit longer slipstream. So he brakes early. However, as we come through this corner, he actually got hit by the car behind. You saw it in the mirror there. The white car punted into the yellow car, which then hit me, and that was that. So skipping a little bit further on, and yeah, I think the music summed that little moment up there as about 6 cars all go off on turn 1. Now I'm going to tell you now, it's quite easy to do, as you can tell by the fact that nearly every single driver in front of us there all went off and wide through turn 1. It's very easy to get the understeer, but it was just quite entertaining when I was racing and I just saw this group of cars all driving off the track, and it did make me laugh a little bit there. But again, we're getting hit from the guy behind us here. You can see hitting the rear there once, and this isn't something that's just every now and then. We find that, I think it's the same driver behind us that does this quite a few times, as the driver in front of us just runs the white Megane clean off the track. And again, you're going to be prepared for this week, and this is why I'm going to avoid this daily race 8, because it is a nightmare. But as we come into the final 2 laps, you can see here now, another car runs wide there, gets all drifting out of shape. We go to the right hand side, and that's 1 more position up into P8. So yeah, we skip to the final lap now, and as we're coming through this corner, you're going to see this is what you need to expect this week. As we come to the final corner, 2 drivers taking each other out. We just go up the inside, nice 3-2 positions there, and yeah, it's chaotic. So I thought, you know what, that could have just been a dirty race, and you know, it might just be one of them one-off races. However, we go into another race and we have Mr. Amthrop in the lobby. Now, in the past, we've had some quite annoying races with Mr. Amthrop, but we'll see how it goes in this one as we get quite a good start. We actually managed to jump him straight away. He actually gets a really poor start, so he's down in last place. We get quite a good start and we're up into P9. So into turn 1 we brake nice and early because we don't want to hit the car in front there. Very easy to do, but he runs very wide there, so I'm going to go up the inside. We take a nice tight line. He does turn in on us a bit. We take the move. I think it was fair. And then we're going to try and go around the outside here. However, he obviously wasn't too happy with that. He just barges us off the track, drifts through the corner, rams into us. And yeah, I think he was a bit annoyed, but I think it was a fair move. He was out of control in turn 1. We just went up the inside. So I thought, you know what? We'll return some of this. We're going to have to get our shoulders out in this race. So we go up the inside, give him a little shunt back. And I honestly think if you're going to do this race this week, you're going to have to be prepared to get your shoulders out, because people are just ramming each other off the track. They're ramming you in the corners. It's absolute chaos, and this is another reason why we do need that penalty system back, and hopefully Gran Turismo 7 will bring that penalty system back, because it will be needed, I can tell you 100%, especially with a lot of new drivers on that game. It could be quite chaotic. As we go through here, again, he's out of control. I don't know if he was using the handbrake in that corner or what, but whatever he was doing, it wasn't working. So we take that move up the inside, skip a little bit further on in the race, and we're still in P8, and we managed to get past this guy here who's taken the penalty. He's got a half-second penalty, so a clean move, no real effort there. nice freebie. But as we go into the braking zone, trying to keep it nice and smooth, braking just after the 100 board, really I recommend for that, just to try and make sure you don't run wide on this corner. And we got a car off there, looks like he's been in the lead battle. God knows what's happened there, probably shunted off or something. It wouldn't surprise me in this daily race A. So yeah, we're up to P6, and now we're just got to try and stay close to P5 and maybe go for a move. But looking in the mirror, this guy behind us, he just kept hitting me in the braking zone. So he hits us once there, and then just watch his entry. He takes really weird lines. He tries to floor it through the corner of the apex and basically sacrifices any sort of exit speed. So yeah, kept doing it. Again, as we come into the final corner, he hits us there. So, and again there, and again there. That's 3 or 4 hits in the space of a couple of corners. Now, I get that people can make mistakes. It's fair enough. I've done it. We do it. We make mistakes. However, when it keeps happening, it gets a little bit frustrating. So, coming to the final lap of this race. And yeah, so far this race has not really been that much better than the first race in terms of the drivers in it. It just looks like one of them weeks of races. The car combo, etc. As P1 runs wide there, as we get hit again, I think, there from the guy behind. So that's about the 6th hit in the space of a lap and a bit. But yeah, P1 runs wide, he loses the lead, and it looks like he's also lost second position as we get hit again in the corner. And then again there, and I end up getting annoyed. I think I even brake checked him there, or we do it in a minute, because I'm getting frustrated because he keeps hitting us again. He hits us there. So I got really annoyed here, and then he tries to pass us after hitting us. So I give him a little shunt to the right because I was really getting frustrated with him. You can make 1 or 2 mistakes of hitting someone in the rear, but when it's like 8 or 9 times in the space of 1 lap, it gets a little bit annoying. So yeah, he did apologise at the end, but it was the fact that he says sorry, but then he still tried to overtake in the race. That's where I get a bit annoyed. If you hit someone in the rear, fair enough, everyone makes mistakes, but then don't carry the overtake on or try and make an overtake. That's where my annoyance comes with some people and the way they drive. So we're into daily race B, and this is Lego Major. The track, we have never had this as a daily race. I'm pretty sure this must be a new combination, but yeah, unfortunately again, PD, lack of variety. I mean, this is just going to be an FF fest with the FF cars. Now, I jumped on with very little practice, set a time with a Ferrari, did a 202.9. It probably will do a 202 flat, maybe creep into the top 10, the Ferrari, but I just think the Scirocco's acceleration and braking ability is just going to be too much to compete at this track with no tyre wear. So yeah, it does look like an FFS. We were the only non-FF car in this race as we go for a move. Down the right hand side, we get a good exit from the corner. That should be able to put us up to P3. So we brake nice and late. We got the inside line. I think the guy on the outside didn't realise we were there because there was 3 wide. And then we get punted again. Kind of helps me though. The guy on the inside there hits us up the rear, and that actually boosts me forward. So he actually gives us a bit of a help there. So we're up into P3 in the Ferrari, but we're racing a pretty OP car in the Scirocco around here. It's very difficult. I think, obviously, if there was tyre wear in this race, I think the Ferrari would be very good here. It'd be a very strong car. It seems to suit the track. However, without any form of tyre wear, them FF cars are going to be insanely good around this combination. So we're working our way down the hill, and you can just see in the slipstream that Scirocco gaining, but he's still over 2 tenths behind, so he's probably too far back to send it up the inside here. But he does have a little look there, and it was a little bit worrying. But again, you can see how good that car is on the brakes, the Scirocco. It's clearly very strong on the braking area. However, through here you can see he took a very weird line through there. That's going to compromise his exit speed as it's a front wheel drive car, and he's putting too much steering angle in, so you can see he's just got no exit speed from that corner. So into the braking zone again, pretty comfortable. We hold on to the inside line, and we still hold on to P3 in this race. Now, this combination isn't my favourite. It's not really a combination I choose to do, so I will not be racing this week because I'm so bored of this combination. I don't really like the track anyway, but the fact that it's on every single week, I think it's time. We've mentioned this so many times now in previous videos. PD really need to start having a bit of imagination with these daily races, because this is stale. This is not a fun race in my view. So into the braking zone again, we see a little bit of chaos behind us there as the Sciroccos are everywhere in this race. We have 2 in front of us and about 5 behind us. But that's what happens when you have a combination like this. So we're going to skip on now to the end of lap 2, and as we come into it, the guy behind goes for a bit of a weird chance of an overtake there. I don't know if it was just the car being a lot better in that corner, the Scirocco, but yeah, it kind of looked to go up the inside, which wasn't really going to work. We managed to hold on to that though in P3, and now as we come through the final sector on lap 2, we're going to go a little bit defensive here just in case. I thought, do I need to go to the middle of the track? And he does go for a little bit of a send, but we're going to shut that one off straight away because he was too far back to send that. And I think he realised he got on the brakes and made sure he didn't actually do it. So through here, he gives us a little shunt on the apex there. So we're going to have to go defensive on the left-hand side and see if we can hold this line all the way to the finish line to start the final lap. We take a tight line. He's now going to have the better run on the exit, so he's got the inside. So we go to the middle of the track, and we're going to keep our car right here. We don't want to go over to the right. We want to compromise his entry into the next corner. So we're staying to the right. Then we're going to go to the right-hand side of the track. He gives us space on the outside, which is fair. Good racing this. He actually gives us a bit of space there. However, we get a bit of a hit from behind, and again, another hit from behind. Luckily, the second hit kind of helps us out and keeps us in P3. So through here, trying to defend now against these Scirocco's in the Ferrari, which doesn't have the straight line speed of them Scirocco's. Now we just got to try and hook this corner up on the throttle nice and early. We actually do that pretty well. We get a nice run out the corner. You can see the gap nearly up to over 4 tenths of a second to P2. So we've got a nice solid gap, and we shouldn't have anything to worry about with 4 tenths ahead going into the braking zone. However, this kamikaze here, he just wipes into the side of us and completely just carries on. That was the guy, I'm pretty sure that's the guy from Daily Race A before as well. So let's keep an eye on him here. I think it is. Look how far back he is. He doesn't brake. He just accelerates, then brakes, uses me as a wall to help him through the corner. A bit like what they were doing at Daily Race A last week. Just use the barrier, ricochet off it, and carry on. So he carried on, didn't back off, didn't give the position up, and that is a little bit frustrating, but you know, that's the way it is. We're not just gonna, we didn't retaliate, we just carried on. And luckily he lost the P3 anyway as he went into the gravel. So over the line, and the car in front of us got a penalty for track limits, and that gave us a P5. So a bit frustrating because I think we should have really had a P3 there, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be doing that track too much anyway this week. This is going to be the race that I will be concentrating on this week. It's Daily Race C. It's at Green Hell. Now, it's not at night time. However, it is at a very nice time of day for visuals. It looks stunning. So, yeah, it's going to be an enjoyable week, I think, to try and find some pace at this track. It's not a great combination for me, but I'm willing to put the effort in this week for this combination because I do think that with the progress we've made with the brake force adjustments recently, we can start finding a bit of pace here. So into turn one, see we got a nice slipstream from here, and we can see the 150 ball. So we go to the right hand side of the track to go for an undercut, and unfortunately the guy in front brakes a tiny bit early. We should have really braked early, so that is my fault. We give him a hit, but I decided I'm not going to try and overtake him here. So we stay off the throttle there, and then again into this corner. I'm not going to send the move up here because I feel it would be a bit rude after hitting him in the braking zone. So we back off, stay behind him here. There's no point trying to overtake him straight away. We'll let him settle back down before we try and go for a move because it was my fault that we hit him in the rear. But luckily, no harm done. He managed to hold on to his position, and the guy in front didn't get hit. I stay in my position. So luckily there, no harm done, but that was my fault. So into the tight right corner, we're going to go out wide here and then try and get a nice smooth exit from the corner and see if we can go for any moves. And again, he doesn't get the best exit there. We end up giving a little bump draft up the hill, and then we're into this left-hand corner. A little bit unsighted there. Didn't really get the car into the apex. That's going to compromise us on the exit there. And we've got the Mazda behind us, which isn't very good in the straight line. He does have a little look up the inside here, but yeah, that's not going to work as we take a nice normal line through there in the Corvette and then into this right-hand corner, trying to get on the power nice and early and back into that slipstream of the Supra. And again, the Corvette very strong in the slipstream. You can see here down the straight, picking up the slipstream from the Supra, and just look how fast the Corvette is, absolutely flying on the straights. So obviously for this race, there is no compulsory tyre change. It's just a 2-lap race, no pit stop, race to the finish. You don't need to pit, it's a flat-out race. And yeah, there's no strategy involved this week. So a bit different to last week. As we come through here and a guy makes a mistake there on the right side, we're going to take that inside line. And we get hit on the apex there, but luckily we were on the brakes and kind of prepared for that. We do run a little bit wide on the exit, but we managed to keep control of the car. I don't think it was deliberate by the Mazda. I think he was just going for a move on that Supra that was out of control and just braked a little bit too late. So yeah, again, this week with Nordschleife, it very often is the case. A lot of people don't set qualifying times because they don't get a lap in. So we actually started this race from P12, even though we hadn't set a lap time. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It is definitely growing on me. The more I drive this track, the more I'm starting to enjoy it. As we come through here, and we've got a side-by-side in front of us. So we decided to go to the inside here and give the bump draft to the Supra because we want the inside for the next corner. We might be able to squeeze past him as well. So as we go up the hill, we've got the inside line to this right-hand corner. He brakes early, the guy onto the left of us, but I don't think he realised I was there. I think he just thought the Supra was there. and he just clips the side of our car. But we gave him space. We left him more than a car's width from the left hand side there, so up into P9, and the Mazda follows us through the corner as well, so he's gained a position there. So now into this really fast left hand corner, trying to spot the brake, and we've got a bit of a slipstream from the cars in front. Braked a tiny bit late there, but managed to get it down into second gear and then get on the throttle and get good traction. And that again is a very good thing about the Corvette. It's a very easy car to drive here. I do think if you're struggling here, give the Corvette a go. It's probably one of the easier cars in terms of the handling. It's decent through the corners, it's fast on the straights, and it's very stable on the curb. So yeah, give it a go. You might like it. I definitely will stick to the Corvette through while I'm trying to really pick up my pace on this track. So through here, trying to get that early shift into third gear to get good exit speed. As P8 there has a massive moment there, so we're going to go for a move, going down the right hand side. He squeezes us a little bit, but he gives us enough space to go down that right hand side, and we've gained the position up into P8 in this daily race C. So now we've got to see if we can get into that top 5, as we've got P5 not too far in the distance. The lead group is over 7 seconds ahead, so will we be able to catch that up? I'm not too sure. As we come through this right hand corner, we've got battling going on in front of us as the car's pushed onto the barrier there by the looks of it. So yeah, not really an optimal place to try and make an overtake through there, though. This is, some of these parts of this track are pretty much single file and will end in disaster if you try and do an overtake. So into this next braking zone, very tricky braking zone through here. I tend to try and brake a little bit early for this corner, just so the car doesn't slide too much and just get a good solid exit from the corner. As P7 looking a little bit sketchy there, all sideways through the exit there. So yeah, we've got to stay pretty close to him, because it's possible he's going to make a mistake as he brakes very early for that corner. And now we're into this tricky right hand corner where you've got to be careful on the exit curb. And as we come through here, he gets on that exit curb, and that's another fatality in this race. So this is going to be a common occurrence this week, I reckon. A lot of drivers spinning on curbs and making mistakes. If you can do this race without making too many mistakes, as we look ahead again, another car drifts out of control, and then as we look behind in the mirror, as he on goes, he hits the other car, that car hits the barrier, goes back across the track, and yeah, that's a wipeout there. So now we're up to P6. We're going to skip a little bit further ahead as we managed to catch up to the Mercedes that was in front of us, and now we're in the battle for P5. So we've got to be quite cautious here, because there's not really anywhere you can overtake on this section of track on the Green Hell. You just find it's best just to sit behind them, not put them under too much pressure, because if they make a mistake, it's just going to affect you as well. So you can see I'm just trying to stay in his slipstream. We'll try and get him on the straight, and then we got a nice easy pass once we get to that straight. So yeah, onto this section of track, staying in his slipstream. Again, I'm not really trying to put him on the massive amount. So you see I lifted very early through here, trying to be ultra cautious and just make sure we don't make any mistakes. Now as we come through here, trying to keep the car nice and smooth on the exit there, and then into the braking zone. Again, get this tricky corner. This corner can catch you out if you do that wrong, and again, this next corner, it can easily catch you out if you hit that curb a little bit too aggressive on the right. So just trying to be nice and smooth, and we've got a nice distance now to the Mercedes in front of us. You can see we're going to get a good slipstream from him, and this is going to be a pretty straightforward pass in the Corvette, and this is lined up pretty well. So yeah, picking that slipstream up, letting the Corvette get that speed up, and we should fly past him, especially on the uphill section. So yeah, Mercedes, you can see there, losing out now, not got the slipstream. We've got massive overrun on him, and we're up into P5 in this race. So that was that move done. We're going to skip a little bit further ahead now on lap 2. We took a little while to catch up to this group, up to the P1, 2, 3 and 4 battle, but we did catch them up. We gained quite a bit of time on the first half of this lap at Nordschleife, and you can see we're in the battle for the lead now. So this is quite an intense race. It's actually really enjoyable. I was thinking we might be able to win this. The win could be on. So we're into the braking zone, trying to keep it nice and smooth. You can see we totally dropped the car that was behind us, a Mercedes. We're over 5 seconds ahead of him. Drove it pretty smooth through that section. And now we're in a situation where we're going to have to be very careful, because you've got 4 cars battling. It's going to be very easy for one of them to make a mistake in this battle. And this is why I say at this type of combination, sometimes just keeping it consistent, staying off the curbs and not driving 100%, maybe driving at like 90%, just to ensure that you don't crash, will probably get you some solid results at this combination this week, because there is going to be a lot of drivers spinning, hitting the curbs and going off track as we work our way through this long right hand corner, keeping it on the track. And now we've got the slipstream to the Jaguar in front of us there, and he's got the slipstream to the podium, the final podium position there of the Corvette, it looks like. So through here I decided, you know what, we want to go past him, but I'm looking at this point now, but because he's got the slipstream, it's not really worth trying to go for a move. And then once I see how close the Jaguar is to that Corvette in front, I decided to lift off there. You can see I come off the throttle and I just think, you know what, I'm going to let them go because they'll probably end up having some sort of crash. And it does look like P4 just pushes the Corvette clean out the way, just rams him in the corner, pushes him off track. That's what it looks like to me. A bit naughty, but yeah, maybe he didn't, but it did look a little bit, and I think he actually said something in the chat, so maybe he did just hit and run there and go for that move. Not nice to see, really. So he gains the P3 position, but he does it by pushing the other driver out the way. So into the carousel here now, through the trying to stay on that optimal line through there without getting a little bit aggressive on the throttle, because you can easily spin it on that corner if you just get a little bit too aggressive. So again, we're just going to sit behind here now, just keep it nice and smooth. I know I've got the pace. We've caught up 5 seconds to them, so I know that we can take this quite smooth. Just make sure we stay in the slipstream for the final straight and see if we can battle for that P1 position in this race. So yeah, looking pretty good at this race. I was actually quite surprised we got to this position, and it's all going quite well. But again, so intense driving this track. I do actually really enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of races here this week as we're trying to keep it to the apex there. Again, I love this little section of track there where you've got to, I prefer going through it in 4th gear and then just letting the car rotate through the corners. Again, through here, this is where I tend to lose a bit of pace. I find that I'm not as aggressive as I probably should be on the throttle coming out of this corner, but we do gain quite a bit on the car in front there. Again, we're going to make sure that we brake nice and early, make sure that we hit the apex, and make sure that we're in line to take advantage of anyone's mistakes, because at this point here you can see we've got 3 cars battling. We're not going to get too close to them. We're going to take it a bit cautious. So again, early on the brakes, just let it coast through there, get on the throttle nice and early, get that rotation into the corner, and just make sure that we're in the slipstream and we're not in a position where we're going to crash if they crash. So yeah, it's all looking okay at the moment. You can see the lead 2 are definitely battling there. It looks like there's something going on. It's all very close racing there. So again, through here, I'm going to lift very early off the throttle, brake nice and early, and then make sure that we get good exit speed from this corner, which we do. We get nice exit speed up into 4th gear, and again into this left-hand corner, just trying to make sure that we stay in the slipstream. The car in front goes a little bit wide there, that puts him out of sync. However, he gets very close to the car in front of him there. So as we come through this right-hand corner, it looks like the Mazda or whatever it is goes a little bit wide onto the grass, and he just makes a mistake and loses control of it. So I think that was the car. I think that was his own fault for going on the grass there. It looked like it was just a mistake. But we've now got the slipstream going up the straight, and will we be able to go for a move on these 2 cars? This is actually looking pretty good. The Jaguar's got the slipstream though, so he's getting quite good speed down that straight. We've got the slipstream. However, he's going to lose the slipstream when he goes for the overtake. So he goes to left. I stay behind the Corvette, get the slipstream off that car, and then over to the left. The Corvette does come over, but we're going to stay to the left. We managed to go up the inside, and now we're going to be battling for the win in this race. Can we go for the win? This is going to be really exciting as we go through the final corners of this race. I can't really do much at this point of the track. There's not really an overtaking position here, so we back off and try and get a really good exit from this corner, which we do quite nice and clean through there. Good exit speed, and as we come here now, we get a really nice run on him, and I go to the left and he just turns to the left there, and to me that looked deliberate, and I did flash him and I did question it, but I got no response. So I thought, do you know what, I questioned it by saying I'll check the replay. I didn't go too aggressive. I just said, I think you might have blocked me there. I'm going to check the replay. So we did check the replay. You can see there, I questioned him. Looked like you blocked me there, so I'll check the replay. So I saved the replay, and as we come through here, we're going to see he clearly does. It's a deliberate move, in my view, to block us. So look at his steering inputs as we come through here. Look at the steering inputs as he sees me going to the left here. He sees me going to the left, and look, clean to the left, just so that we bump draft him instead of doing the overtake. So not very nice, in my view. You're going to see it a lot more clearly now. And you can see me flashing in the rearview mirror because I could see what he'd done when I was driving. So you can see it on this view again, on the chase cam. You can see it a lot more clear. As my car comes through here, you're going to see my car coming on the left-hand side, and then you're going to see his steering inputs go all the way to the left there. Look at that. He knew what he was doing, and in my view, that's dirty. We could have had a really exciting drag race to the finishing line there and a photo finish. And for me, I would rather finish second and have a real good drag race to the finish than win by blocking someone like that. But some drivers don't like to get beat, and that's the way it is. So we enjoyed the race, though. It was good fun racing all the way to the finish line. And let me know if you did enjoy these races, what you think of that move at the end there. Was it a block? I personally think 100% that was a block, because you could see it on his steering inputs. There's no doubt in my mind. So yeah, we'll be back for more videos and more live streams this week. So make sure you subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll see you all soon.